Just looking back at this year with Jake, what's it been like for you? I know you don't obviously work in the same position with him, but what's it been like watching him excel like he did last year?
It's been great to watch him develop and to see his skill level rise to the occasion and all the other things that you would expect as a coach. As a father, it's just great to see him lead his team.
Talks at home and all. What's it like? Obviously there's more than just football because obviously your dad at home too. But I mean, how, is that dynamic kind of continue a little bit how it was in high school for him?
You try to, off the field, try to stay away from specifics because he's got such a great quarterback coach. But you do talk to him about things that you hear Coach Roper talk about. Obviously, you mention those things. And to be honest with you, Jake's one of those that brings it up probably more than I do. Jake wants to be a pro. Jake wants to be a great one. So it's constantly on his mind. He's constantly over here studying. I called him the other night at 8:30, and he said, "I'm just leaving the stadium. I was watching video." So that's the kind of guy he is.
What's you have pride in him for his work ethic? Is that something that you really instilled with him growing up? And what was that like to hear, the head coach talk so highly about his work ethic?
Yeah, that's really the way Jake's built. He's always worked hard. He's always worked hard in the weight room. He's always worked hard with his teammates, extra throwing sessions, extra weight room workouts. And then now he's just really captivated with the video, with the extra studying, the extra work in regards to breaking down defenses and trying to figure out tendencies. And he's got him a little notebook now of different defensive coordinators. He's got notes on how defensive coordinators are attacking him. And it's really neat what he's doing right now with his studying.
When did you know that he had this kind of potential when he was coming up?
He was 3 years old. He was in a playpen around the practice field. His brother was five and a half, and he was more dominant athletically than his brother. So I knew something was different then. Paulette he was about 7 or 8. He was playing flag league, and Paulette told me one time I missed a game, and she said, he's faster than everybody he's playing with. He may be pretty special. So we kind of knew at that point he was going to be good. And then in 6th grade, he played and never got tackled. He scored every time he touched the ball, and never was tackled. We knew then that he may have a chance to be pretty good.
What's different about him? Is it drive? Is it? Is he just that much better?
I'm not sure athletically it is. It's just the kid. He's a competitor. That's why. Even if you're playing a game of cards at home, he's going to find a way to win, even if he has to cheat a little bit to beat you and beat the family and then talk trash to his brothers. That's just the way he is. The superintendent at Opelika told me at one game that he got on to Jake because on a Friday they were playing wiffle ball and he was diving in their indoor facility for a ball on a game day in a wiffle ball game to win the game. He's just a competitor. He's got just those natural competitive juices to bring the best out of others.
Just the father-son dynamic, though, of just having that bond here where you guys kind of come to work here every day and just that specialness of that.
It's great to see Jake, especially days like today where we had a good meeting and then we had a great team breakfast. It's just great to see him out smiling and more than just being a football player. I probably get the most reward out of it to see him hosting a recruit, those kind of things. That's where it gets rewarding.
What do you think he learned the most? What's some of the lessons he learned most last year through the ups and downs of being thrown in the fire like that?
Well, about that 4th week when he said, "Dad, why did I do this? I could be playing in high school," because literally he wasn't getting any reps. And he told me, he said, "Dad, I wish I would have stayed in high school because I'm not getting to play. I'm not getting a chance to play." And I said, "Just hang in there." And he said, "Well, Coach Muschamp told me to hang in there. My chance will come." And I said, "Well, you heard what he said. Do what he says and just keep your mouth shut and do your job." And he did that, and his hard work paid off.
Did you ever go to him and say, "Hey, I know you're coaching running backs, but did you ever say, hey, why don't you give him a shot in practice, take a look at what he's doing?"
I never did. I didn't think that was my role, because it's kind of a touchy situation, when your son's on the team and he's a quarterback and he's a highly recruited. The guy could have played, anywhere in the country. He had, offers from left, West Coast to East Coast and SEC to ACC to Big Ten. you don't really want to say a whole lot. You just kind of say, hey, it'll take care of itself, and it did. And you're glad the way it worked out, but you didn't want to put yourself in the way with your professionalism and doing your job.
During games, during practices, is there at any point when you sneak a look over at what he's doing, or are you just so locked in on what your job is?
You're just so locked in on trying to get these running backs better. We're so young at running back this past year. We were so young. You're just trying to focus on every little detail of getting those guys better, and they respond so well. You're just kind of in a tunnel. You're kind of in your own little submarine. And then when you're watching video, obviously you're watching things and you're hearing what Coach Roper says. So you're kind of making sure you understand what he wants Jake to do as well, because it's just natural for you to do as a father.
But are you nervous though, knowing throughout the week, is it more nerve-wracking for you with him playing, or are you as a dad?
Question.
Exactly.
Don't tell Reggie it's a good question.
That was a very good question. Speaking of nervous, nervous would not be a good adjective to describe the UMass game, because you got to remember he wasn't getting many reps, and then all of a sudden I'm having to watch him go out there and play in the UMass game. That was the one I would say I was beyond nervous. The rest of them I was not really that concerned as far as the rest of them, except when Derek Barnett was lined up across from him, because I knew what he was going against over there. But it's good to watch him and see it all develop, and he's having just a lot of fun. We just got to make the most of each opportunity we have together.
What about for you though? I mean, now that you're a position coach now, I mean, obviously, you were an assistant at Auburn, but now you're back in being in that coaching grind, on the field coaching. What was last year like for you coming back in that role?
It was great. Especially coaching running backs. It was a little different for me, and just being a good soldier, doing my part, doing my piece of the puzzle, and a lot of fun. The guys ended up rushing. You look at the two freshmen; they ended up rushing for 1,200 yards and over 5 yards a carry. So we had some success, but we've got to get better. We've got to get better at running the football, especially against the good teams, especially in the SEC. We've got to do a better job on third down of getting the first downs. If Coach Roper gives us the ball, it's our job to get the first down, regardless of the blocking. We've got to make those plays.
Was it tough being an offensive assistant, though, being away from coaching on the field, or did you use it as a positive to learn?
Well, it was different for me. Other than the 2 years at Auburn, I've been calling plays for over 20 years, so every play that was ran that I've coached has been a call. So I was always looking for the next play. Now I just listen to the play and coach that play. So my mentality's different than it used to be, because I'm just making sure my guys do their job and making sure I do everything I can for the coordinator to please him and do my job.
Rico Dowdle, how about his progression once he got healthy, was able to play every game, and where do you see him stepping forward here in the spring and toward the next season?
I think Rico has a chance to be an elite player. He has the size, he has the speed, he has agility, he has balance, he has power, he has all the intangibles that you want as far as instincts as well. I think he's got a chance to be an elite player. He's got to learn to practice. He's got to learn to be able to fight through a little pain, and I'm looking forward to seeing what year 2 brings to him and his skill set.
What does Tyson Williams bring to the battle?
Tyson brings speed, and I call him an angry runner. He doesn't want to get tackled. He's a one-step guy, one-step cut guy that will bring maybe a little more speed and explosion to the backfield that we've got. And I think when you put all 3 of those guys together with A.J. Turner, Rico Dowdle, and Tyson Williams, you've got a 3-headed monster that could be an elite SEC backfield. And I tell you, I've been really impressed with Mon Denson in the off-season program. So it'll be interesting to see how he performs this spring and if he can get himself in the battle.
Have you seen much of Caleb Kinlaw?
Caleb has been a little injured with the morning program, but he's coming back strong. The last 2 days he's been better, more healthy. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do too, because it's funny, we talked about it yesterday in the running back room. We have flipped this running back room completely. We had this meeting last year. We had one guy that had a carry, one guy with any experience. Now you flip this room, you've got 2 guys that rushed over 1,200 yards, You got a guy that played at North Carolina as a freshman. You got a guy that played at Wisconsin, and you feel like all of a sudden you got a chance to have an elite backfield. But it's all about potential, and we've got to go out and show it now in year 2.